are back with another video. Before we get into the video, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So it has been reported that, unfortunately, I Am Ugly album by Cardi B has flopped. Cardi B album sold 200,000 exactly first week after Billboard filtered the mass buying and mass payola that Cardi B was trying to do to surpass Pink Friday 2, but it failed, okay? She tried to put bongos and money and up and wop on her album, 10 plus year old songs, and she still cannot surpass the queen. So I will have to give Cardi B a million lashings. Now, 200,000 is not bad, but Cardi B was distinctively trying to surpass Nicki Minaj, 228,000. But Nicki Minaj's first album, she did 375,000. Okay, so you can't beat the queen. She was selling her album for $4.99. Who does that? Who does that? You were trying to beat the queen and you failed. So this is a flop. And another thing is, there's no hit on the album, in my opinion. Nicki Minaj had Red Ruby. She had Super Freaky Girl. She had F the Club Up. In my opinion, I don't feel like there's a real hit on this album. You dissed Bia, JT, and you called them by name. You called Bia by her name, and it still wasn't good enough. Nicki Minaj did not call out any female rapper on her album. If the shoe fit, they gotta wear it. But she didn't call no rapper out by their name on her album. You did. Okay? You was trying to use the female rappers to build hype for your album. You dissed Icespxce, JT, Bia, Akbar V, whoever you want to call it. You was Nicki Minaj. You dissed everybody. And you still could not surpass the queen. You were pulling too much stunts. You announced your pregnancy during the rollout of your album. Okay, you were distinctively trying to beat Nicki Minaj. But God don't like evil or ugly, and you're both. So with that being said, that's why I have to give her a million lashings, because she tried to play dirty. And when you play dirty, you never win. Okay? When you play dirty, you'll never win. And that's what you try to do. Her fans were saying, oh, she's going to do 300,000 first week. She's going to do 280. And allegedly, Billboard filtered the sales. That's why it was delayed, because they was too busy filtering out the fraudulent sales. The $5 foot-long album that she was trying to sell, those don't count. Okay? Because Billboard has a rule. If your album is less than $7.99, it's not going to count towards the charts, because you're trying to manipulate and have your fans mass buy. Okay? So with that being said, I don't feel bad for Cardi B. I think she needs to be held accountable for her fraudulent sales. And Billboard actually should, conduct an investigation on all of Cardi B's sales. I think a lot of the stuff that she's done has been fraudulent, not just this album. Now, Nicki Minaj also teases the title of her album, allegedly. She posted on Instagram the brand new album, the brand new incredible album, the big one, It's Time, and then a throwback picture. So a lot of people are speculating that, the album title could be called Onika or Nicki Minaj. Okay, let me know how y'all feel about that. I definitely would be here for a self-titled album. Okay, I definitely would be here for that. And I think with Nicki, she really got to do her big one this era. Like, I want top collaborations with people she hasn't worked with before. Okay, I don't want no female rappers. Sorry, unless it's Doechii, because I like Doechii. But if it's not Doechii, then it can be kept over there. I want like a a Queen Taylor collaboration. Sabrina, I wouldn't mind, but Queen Taylor would be number one. No shade. Work with The Weeknd again. That would be fire. We need like the best of the best. Okay? And the duds, and no shade, Champagne Thickums and Wayne could stay home. Now, moving on from that, unfortunately, Doja Cat gets humiliated. Doja Cat's V is expected to debut with 38 to 48 million on-demand streams in the US, selling 29 to 37,000 units excluding per sales. So this is excluding per sales, but I feel like, Doja Cat should be doing more than that. Ain't she supposed to be like the top female rapper or top pop rapper on Paolify? Why is she doing so low in streams? It just doesn't logically make sense. Okay, I was expecting her to do at least 100 million. I didn't think she was going to do more than Cardi B and Nicki Minaj because I do think she lost a lot of support. And I think that she's slowly starting to realize that. And I think the Scarlet antics probably turned a lot of people away, and the fact that she was going off on her fans. So I do feel like she has contributed to the lack of support that she's getting this era, but I still thought she was going to at least do 100 million streams, at least alone on Paolify. She always do well on Paolify. What is going on? It also has been reported that Doja Cat's V earned 12.95 million streams in its first day of full release on Paolify. That's not good. That's less than what Cardi B did. What's going on with Doja Cat? I think the payola has been removed or she's getting sabotaged. Okay, because there's no way she's doing 12 million streams just in the full day when you just dropped an album. Don't you do 11 million or 12 million streams daily anyway? So this just doesn't logically make sense. Now, the Cardi B fans are clowning Doja Cat's numbers. A Cardi B fan said Kittens dragged Cardi for charting 12 songs on the US Paolify just for Doja Cat to chart less with only 6 songs. Both had only one Paolify global debut, by the way. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This doesn't look good for Doja Cat considering that her music is definitely more pop. But like I said before, Doja Cat has lost a lot of support. My whole thing is, I don't know why Cardi B fans are trying to compete with Doja Cat. Doja Cat barely promotes her album, and also she's not selling her album as the same price as a 4 for $4 at Wendy's. Okay? Also, she's not doing any meet and greets. I think if she was doing stuff like that, like for a full week, I definitely think she would be selling more. She did the phone booth thing and handed out roses for like a day, but she's not doing heavy meet and greets and promising pictures with every fan, just to outsell Nicki Minaj like some people are. Doja Cat don't really brag about her stats like Cardi B does. So I don't understand why they trying to compete and compare to Doja Cat. Talent-wise, Doja Cat is light years ahead of Cardi B. Doja Cat produces. She can dance without twerking. She doesn't have to do pregnancy PR stunts to get attention. Doja Cat uses her talent to sell her records. Cardi B uses her coochie and Partisan Fontaine's writing to sell records and beefing with Nicki Minaj. Let's be very clear. 2 different type of people. 2 different type of artists. Now, moving on from that, fans are calling out Doechii. A fan said the way Doechii disappeared once Paolify started removing them bots. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. Now, here's the thing. I think it's not necessarily the bots. I think it was the hate that Doechii was receiving online. That's why she kind of disappeared. She is working on an album. Okay, and she's about to open up for Kendrick Lamar overseas. I think that's going to happen, I think in November, December. But she is working on her album. The thing is, I just don't think Doechii understood what being a superstar is. Everybody's not going to like you. And I think the umbrella situation definitely turned a lot of people off. I think the Barbs definitely don't fuck with Doechii like that. And I think also it was too soon for her to win a Grammy, even though she's very talented. But I think it was definitely too soon for her to win a Grammy, especially when your last mixtape did 11,000 first week. But they do stuff to spite Nicki Minaj, and then it backfires. And I think with Doechii, she feels as though, she's probably getting a lot of hate online, and she's probably wondering what her next hit is going to be because Anxiety came out. That took off, but, she's going to have to keep up the momentum. So I think she's a little bit scared about what the future holds for her career. Because that technically was a pop song. That wasn't even a rap song. That was pop. I definitely think it's going to get some Grammy nominations, but I feel as though she's probably a little bit worried about the height of her career and what's in store for her next. Now, Botch and Bitter believes that people are putting negative energy on her and her baby. This is what she had to say online.
I called my mom the other day to pray over me and my baby because I feel like a lot of weirdness has been coming out from people and women and all this stuff ever since I announced that I was pregnant. And it's funny because I know that y'all knew that I was pregnant because clearly everybody kind of figured that I was. But the negativity and the weirdness that people are bringing and putting, I told my mom, like, please pray for me and for the Lord to cover me. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I got my babalaos and everything. And of course, people pray for me all the time. But like, there's nothing like I personally believe nothing is as powerful as a mother's prayer. So I'll tell her to pray for me and pray for my baby because I feel like it's just like a lot of dark energy. And like when I say a lot of dark energy, there's a lot of weird bitches that like will wish you weird shit on your kid, like stillbirth, death, slowness. You know what I'm saying? So and I feel like I feel that energy. I feel that. I feel people putting that on me. I don't know, is it jealousy? I don't know what it is. It is what it is. I'm pregnant, baby. I can't get rid of it no more. Too far gone.
Here's the thing, Cardi B. I don't think that people are wishing negativity on your child. I think that's all in your head. No shade. I believe that Cardi doesn't like to be held accountable for her actions. So people have been calling you out for being pregnant and married. But I don't see people wishing negative things on your child. I don't think anybody is wishing anything negative on your baby. I think that's all in your head. But I will say this, and this is just something I don't think Cardi B knows, but you can create negative energy on yourself by who you sleep with. See, there's a such thing as soul ties. And that man that you're sleeping with who has other children and probably is sleeping with other people, you just may not know about it. It could be bringing negative energy towards you. And then on top of that, when you are married, okay, but pregnant by somebody else, that can also bring you negative energy. Do you think God's like, oh yeah, hallelujah, this is great? No. So you can do all the prayer you want, but at the end of the day, you're bringing the negative energy to yourself. You're creating the negative vibes by being in a relationship with somebody who may seem like it's positive for you because it's a rebound and you was in a relationship for 7 years. But you soon gonna learn that you did not make a good decision. And I think is eating at you as a whole. I think you really realize, damn, I probably shouldn't have done that. But you was just so mad at off the cheat, you just wanted to move on, which is fine. But there's always going to be consequences to your actions. Now, moving on from that, No Spice Baddie earned 381,000 streams in its first full day of release on Payolify. Let me know if you feel like this is a bop or flop. I feel like that's not too bad for No Spice. I think the record is still trash. Okay? I think Icespxce, very pretty girl, but has not evolved as an artist. And I think she samples a little bit too much for me. And then on top of that, I also feel like that if she didn't look how she looked, okay, if Icespxce didn't have a fat ass and if she wasn't light skinned, she would be getting the streams that JT probably gets. No shade. I don't think people really care about Icespxce musically. She only did 27,000 first week for her debut album. I don't think that was that great. Now, we are going to give Bottom Bussy Ugly Thug 50,000 lashings. Reason why his new album earned 9.6 streams in its opening day on Payolify. This is unexcusable. You had hella features. No. Okay, you had hella features and you did 9.6 million streams on Payolify. Come on now. That's unacceptable. You had Travis, you had Future, you begged Little Baby, you begged Cardi, you had Sexy Red. This is unexcusable for, and you've been in the game for a while now. Wanna Gunna is out streaming you. Okay? See, this is how I know he's fallen off. People don't give a fuck about ugly ass Thug anymore. Okay? The antics overshadow the music. See, people was tuning into them phone calls getting leaked, but people are not tuning into the music, okay? You had all them damn features, and this is the amount of streams you do? This is ridiculous. You know, it's so funny. Like, I see, like, a lot of artists could flop, but yet let it be Nicki Minaj or Beyonce, y'all be dragging them. If Nicki did this for an album, she would be getting clowned. If Beyonce ever did this for an album, she would be getting clowned. So 50,000 lashings to Bottom Bussy, Ugly Ass Thug. Because Harry Bussy Young Thug is flopping on the charts, he decided to try to get some sympathy. Okay, because this seems like a sympathy ploy in my opinion. He said, if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't even care to live. Sad again. Lost so many people I love, some to betrayal. A therapist can't heal this ish, okay? Now, here's the thing. I think that this was a strategic ploy because the numbers for his album were very low. So he's trying to get people to stream his music. That's what is given to me. How do you say this 2 days after you put out an album? Okay, you wasn't saying this when them phone calls leaked. Okay, you was talking shit about everybody. You wasn't saying this. But because your album flopping on the charts, now you want to off yourself. Interesting. Okay, so I just don't believe it. I'm sorry. Y'all can say that that's cold. But to be quite honest, I think young Harry Bussy Thug is a master manipulator and a narcissist. I just don't believe I really want to off myself. I'm not feeling well. I'm feeling sad when you just dropped an album. I think that's definitely giving sympathy and PR stunts. You know, something that Cardi B would pull. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to give this a chop. And you're still getting 50,000 lashes. I'm sorry. But anyway, I got some very hot tea on Patreon on Sydney Sweeney. The David Singer link will be in the description. I hope you guys have a great day.